609 players. That is what Loomian Legacy is currently sitting at for their game. Right now, recording this, it's Wednesday evening. Just like any other weekday, most Roblox games are performing the same as they usually would. Blox Fruits with 300,000 plus, Murder Mystery 2 with 100,000 plus, but again, Loomian Legacy at 609. All of this is very shocking, but it raises the question, does Loomian Legacy have a future? Or has Loomian Legacy's time come to an end? And are we entering a new era of new Roblox creature capturing games? Let's talk about it. Loomian Legacy released to a grand total of 88,000 people on its original debut, but ever since then, it hasn't even been able to reach half of that. Now, what is actually going on with Loomian Legacy? Well, when Loomian Legacy originally came out, people cited their boredom in the fact that there was really nothing to do in Loomian Legacy. Most of the Loomians you could find, or that were in the game, were literally just the starters, and on top of that, the Trade Resort and Battle Coliseum wouldn't be added until almost a couple weeks later. But Loomian Legacy would start doing something that would set a terrible precedent moving forward, and that was their entire thing about communication and listening to criticism. And a YouTuber was actually the one who highlighted this, a YouTuber that the Loomian Legacy devs have since forever hated, probably more than me, and I have even been called the modern day version of this YouTuber. By the devs, that is. And who is this YouTuber? I am Murderface, a Pokemon Brick Bronze YouTuber turned Loomian Legacy YouTuber, just like many other Loomian Legacy YouTubers we have today. The only thing though, is that Murderface was one of the first people to call Loomian Legacy out on their communication issues as well as their criticism issues. And for that, he was widely hated, both by the community and by the Loomian Legacy developers themselves. But looking back on it, he was right. Loomian Legacy was showing some red flags just a couple months after the game was released, and whenever he ended up quitting Loomian Legacy, only a couple months after its launch, he made a huge thread, and some of the messages still hold true to this day. In his first tweet, he talked about how the Loomian Legacy devs just don't take criticism at all, and as somebody who has firsthand experienced this is absolutely true. He tweeted out all the way back in 2019, "Things I learned yesterday. Don't criticize Llama Train Studios. They can't handle it. Some devs are definitely not perfect and leap to obscure conclusions that only makes them look bad. There are a lot of suck-ups and that's the only thing they welcome." And again, all of this still holds true to this day. Going further into the thread, he tweeted out, "When the Pokemon Brick Bronze game went into a dark period of no updates or communication to the community, it was very difficult as a content creator, something not many people can understand. It was very frustrating to see others so confused on what was actually happening, as I am a player too. So when Loomian Legacy started heading in that same direction, I realized that history can repeat itself, that information or updates could not be as much, which, as a player and someone who listens to the community, I saw it on the daily. Players just wanted to be informed. Is that wrong? So I called it out on Twitter, the main source of the community's engagement with info on the game. No matter how much they try to force Discord, I wanted them to actually inform the community, because they deserve it for patiently waiting to support the game." And then Murderface went on to talk about after he had made his original post criticizing them, they basically turned their backs on him, saying that, "I realized it was all really fake, that my years of support meant nothing, and that it was all forgotten by one misunderstanding. How can you do that to someone who has supported you for so long? That is just wrong in any way you can imagine. So when people ask me, why don't you play anymore? Well, this is your reason. Why should I support something that will easily abandon me? There was no public statement for their misunderstanding, they threw a match on me and let it burn. Why did it take ruining my image and my career with them to allow them to finally reach out to the community? No matter how you spin it, it's just wrong. Criticism should be a given. This game has flaws. Get off your damn high horse." And honestly, again, this dude was a prophet compared to right now. Like, when he says, why did it take me ruining my career, my relationship with these developers for them to finally communicate? I sympathize with that so much, because that is exactly what they did to me as well. And after this, he said that he would quit the game, because he is beyond understanding for how things turned out. friends that he lost at a snap of a finger after years of building because he judged the game. Murderface was actually liked by the developers, even getting invited to play the exclusive YouTuber demo for Loomian Legacy. But Murderface had criticized the Llama Train Studios development team, and as a result of that, all of the developers started dogpiling on him, basically telling him you're wrong and this and this and this and this, to the point where he went out and made this tweet. But what really gets me is the other part of this. There are a lot of suck-ups, and that's the only thing they welcome. Now, I've been in the Loomian Legacy community for 4 years, and I've been friends with the Loomian Legacy developers, I've been not friends with the Loomian Legacy developers, I've been blocked by them, alright? And I can tell you guys, firsthand, speaking from me, if you are not the most perfect, positive person to them, they will completely drop you. The Loomian Legacy developers only like to be surrounded by positivity, and that is a good thing to be surrounded by. However, when you let that influence your work and your actual, just progress towards the game, and you don't let any outside opinions in, like they do, it starts to become a toxic and negative trait they have. Do you want to know why they stopped talking on Twitter? Well, it was quite literally because the community was not overly positive. The community was getting upset at them for not releasing information on Soulburst, not communicating with the fans, etc. So what did they do? Well, they completely just left their Twitter accounts. Both Lando and T-Bradham haven't tweeted in months. T-Bradham hasn't been active on Twitter since February, and Lando hasn't been active on Twitter since December. And you might be asking yourself, why am I bringing all this stuff up? Well, I'm bringing this stuff up to show you guys that the seeds for, the communication issues and the criticism issues have been in Loomian Legacy since the start. And ever since they released their game, they have been slowly killing it. And their issues with criticism and their issues with communication have gotten so bad to the point where now they're trying to fix it with the Loomian Legacy YouTube channel, but it's too late. It has gone to a point where Loomian Legacy can't undo what they have already done. They've made tens of thousands of people leave because they just didn't want to communicate with the community because they were scared of criticism. So now we're here. With less than 600 people playing Loomian Legacy, things have taken a turn for the worse. This has been the worst state Loomian Legacy has ever been in my opinion, and Atlantean City Part 2 will probably not fix it. Considering our roadmap that we have lined up right now, things are looking very bleak, as whatever the next gym is after Atlantean City probably won't be until late next year. I mean, think about it, we're getting a snow route next, which would probably transition into a snowy gym type of area, which means that we're probably not even going to see that until December of 2024. So, does Loomian Legacy have a future? Well, in my opinion, no. Sure, it'll have a future where there's updates, but a future where people stick around? Definitely not. And it seems that a lot of people in Loomian Legacy's community agree with this. Loomian Legacy's future is just looking, again, pretty bleak. So realistically, it looks like we're entering on a new age of creature capturing games on Roblox. Loomian Legacy has had their time, but I feel like they've just gotten too comfortable where they are right now. With games like Doodle World already being released and already being very successful, with WishZ going out in the community, talking with them almost every single day, to other games like Tales of Tenorio and Fairlight World, all of these other games on the come up, communicating with their fans, making sure that they provide with leaks and teasers and all of that stuff. These games are going to be the future of Roblox creature catching. Truth be told, I've always wanted Loomian Legacy to succeed. I think Loomian Legacy is an extraordinarily well-made game on Roblox, made by some really awesome people that I used to know. However, Loomian Legacy has just got a ton of issues. Issues that myself and I know a lot of others are just not confident that they'll be able to fix within the coming years. Loomian Legacy had the opportunity to be one of the biggest games on Roblox. If Pokemon Brick Bronze could have such a high player count back then, if they just kept up that momentum with Loomian Legacy, with how big Roblox has gotten, Loomian Legacy could have been so much more. There is such a market for this type type of game on Roblox, and it really is a shame that things haven't worked out. And part of me wonders if T-Bradham and Lando even want to do Loomian Legacy anymore. Do they want to do Loomian Legacy, or do they feel obligated to ever since the deletion of Pokemon Brick Bronze, which is a game they know was widely beloved by fans? They used to talk all the time back in Pokemon Brick Bronze, doing even personal live streams on Lando's account, building things, but we don't really get that anymore, do we? We have the official developer streams, but it's really not the same without Lando and T-Bradham, the two head representatives for the game. In conclusion, Loomian Legacy has a lot of issues. They have a lot of issues with criticism, they have a lot of issues with communication, and some internal issues with their game, obviously with replayability and all of that stuff. And these seeds have been there since the start. Seeds that are going to continue to mold until they can sprout into something better. No matter how much the Loomian Legacy developers may dislike me, and no matter how much that I have to ruin my relationship with them to get communication for the game, I still want what's best for Loomian Legacy. I want Loomian Legacy to succeed, and I want the developers to realize that they're sitting upon probably one of the greatest Roblox games to ever exist. But that's just the future we are not living in right now.